Long time no see, Michael is here, and I have always been fascinated by the simple yet meaningful lives of people who work closely with nature. One story that has stayed in my mind is about a small fishing village and a morning when the sea revealed both its generosity and its quiet lessons. In the heart of a quiet coastal village, the sun had barely risen, painting the sky with soft shades of pink and gold. The villagers were already awake, preparing for a day at sea. Nets were untangled, wooden boats polished with care, and baskets lined up to carry the day's catch. Among them was an old fisherman named John, known for his patience and gentle nature, and his young apprentice, a boy named Daniel, who was learning the ways of the ocean. The sea that morning was calm, almost glassy, reflecting the first light of dawn. John and Daniel pushed their small boat into the water, its hull scraping softly against the wet sand. The smell of salt and seaweed filled the air, and the cries of distant gulls echoed over the waves. Every stroke of the oar brought them farther from the shore, deeper into the territory where the fish swam freely, unaware of human eyes watching from above. As they reached their favorite spot, John instructed Daniel on how to set the nets. "The sea provides," he said softly, "but it asks for respect in return. Never take more than you need, and always be grateful." Daniel nodded, carefully following John's hands as they guided the ropes and knots. The boat rocked gently with the tide, a rhythmic lullaby that both calmed and focused them. Hours passed as they waited for the nets to fill. Daniel's excitement grew with each tug, each movement beneath the water. When John finally pulled the first net, the boat was filled with a lively mix of fish, bright silver, orange, and the occasional dark blue that shimmered like hidden treasures. Daniel's eyes sparkled as he helped John sort the catch, his hands learning the delicate art of handling each fish without harm. But the sea, ever unpredictable, reminded them of its power. A sudden gust of wind stirred the waves, rocking the boat more violently than before. John held the rudder firmly, his eyes scanning the horizon, while Daniel struggled to keep the nets from tangling. The wind howled, and the boat tilted dangerously, yet John's calm voice guided Daniel through each action, teaching him that courage was not the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. Eventually, the storm passed as quickly as it had arrived, leaving behind a serene, sparkling ocean. The villagers' patience and respect had been rewarded. The nets were heavier than usual, filled not only with fish, but with the sense of achievement and harmony with nature. John smiled, placing a hand on Daniel's shoulder. "This is why we honor the sea," he said. "It gives, it teaches, and it reminds us of what is truly important." On the way back to shore, the sun climbed higher, warming their backs. The village came into view, smoke rising gently from morning fires, and women preparing breakfast for the returning fishermen. Children ran along the beach, their laughter mixing with the gentle lapping of the waves. Daniel carried the baskets of fish with pride. Having learned more than just how to catch food, he had learned respect, patience, and the quiet joy of a day spent in harmony with the sea. That evening, as John and Daniel sat on the shore, watching the sun dip below the horizon, the old fisherman spoke again. "Remember, Daniel, the sea is never only about taking. It is about giving and understanding, about listening to what it teaches us every day." Daniel nodded, feeling a deep sense of connection not only to the ocean, but to the people and traditions that shaped his world. By the time they returned home, The village was alive with chatter and laughter. The day's catch would feed many families, but more importantly, it carried a story of the sea, of patience, and of the quiet wisdom passed from one generation to the next. And for Daniel, it was the beginning of many mornings like this, where the lessons of the ocean would guide him through life, one gentle wave at a time.